So huge magnolia tree, which was probably planted when this house was built back in the 1960s. So if you know anything about magnolia trees, you know they are a hot mess for sure. So this area under here, a couple of years ago, I decided if I try to make it pretty, it'll keep me motivated to keep these leaves cleaned up out of here. Now magnolias drop their leaves in the spring, so the springtime is when this becomes a huge hot mess, and it's something else to keep up with. But right now we've just got a little bit of winter cleanup to do and a few leaves to pick up, and then this area will be cleaned up and ready for spring. So let's get started. I got all the leaves cleaned up out of this bed. Now I'm just going to trim up a few things, and the wind is starting to pick up, so it's getting a little bit chilly. We've got some, it's been in the 50s, and it's been really nice to be outside, but we are getting ready to drop down into the 30s as a high and low in the teens. So I am glad to have gotten this project done while it was in the 50s. So I'm just cutting some of the dead away from this silver gumdrop. Let's see, is this a silver gumdrop? Is a, oh, it just says coral bell. So I like when I leave the tags and things so I can remember what they are, because after a while you just can't remember all the things. But I'm just cutting the dead out of this, make it look a little bit nicer, and then I'm going to trim this dead. This was a Japanese painted fern that lives in this pot. Get that all trimmed up. I have found that hostas and hellebores or Lenten roses and a handful of ferns, they hostas, hellebores, and Lenten roses, they really like the spot under this tree. So the Lenten roses, the new growth is starting to appear, so I'm just going to cut back some of this old foliage so that that new growth can appear and those flowers can make their appearance. Alright, this is a citronella coral bell, and it's got a lot of dead here, so I'm just going to come in and clean that up. You don't have to clean these up right now. You can wait a little bit closer to spring, but since I'm out here and there's so many projects, so little time, I'm going to go ahead and just get some of this dead foliage out of here. Alrighty. Now we have this holly fern. Holly ferns are really fun because they are an evergreen fern. So I was just going to cut some of the dead off of it. But they pretty much stay evergreen. So it's really pretty structure in the winter. But got a few of those spent fronds. Clean it up just a little. And then here is some trailing variegated vinca. I'm just going to give it a little bit of a haircut. Keep it in check. I got a few more coral bells through here. This is champagne back here. This one I might have to do something with this soil. It might retain a little too much water for this plant's liking. It's still a little small, even though I just planted it last year. This one is, let's see, stainless steel. Trim this one up a little bit. I used to put annuals in this pot, but I think I'm going to try to stick with coral bells in this area because they're so pretty. For the most part, they are evergreen. They get a little sad looking in the winter, but when they finally fill out, they don't look too bad all winter long. I have to do something with the soil on that one too. Might be holding a little too much water. Here's another Lenten rose that I can cut back some of this old foliage since the new growth is starting to make its appearance. Not sure which variety this is. I was trying to collect the wedding series, which I have a couple of them in here, but I don't think this is one of them. Alright, got that guy cleaned up. And now we've got some of the dead off of this one. So we've got a few more things to clean up over here. We've got this Lenten rose. Now this is part of the wedding series. This is the wedding party series. This one's called Confetti Cake. This is such a pretty flower when it blooms. And if you look real careful, you can see there's a bloom. There's a bloom right there, getting ready to pop out. So that's a really pretty flower. We have a peachberry ice coral bell. Hopefully it'll make a comeback. I might have to do something with the soil on this one too. It might just be too deep of a pot with the type of soil that I had in it. So we'll see what she does in the spring. There's a hosta in there. There's a painted fern in there. And then there's some more hostas in these pots right through here. So we got it cleaned up. Looks so much better at this point. So much better. On another day, I'll probably come through here and just top dress with some sea and farm soil to add some nutrients in, since all these plants are fighting with this big massive magnolia tree for nutrients and water, and it'll be ready to go for spring. Well, that's it for this garden project. For the love of dirt, get outside. Yes, it's cold, but grab you a scarf, grab you some earmuffs, grab you a hat, and enjoy what nature has to offer. Until next time, bye. And then this coral bell right here